In 2014, a small Vermont town was stunned by news that made national headlines. Ronald Read, a janitor and gas station attendant who died at 92, had secretly accumulated $8 million. His friends were shocked. His stepchildren had no idea. Even his financial advisor didn't know the full extent of his wealth until after he died. Ronald Read never earned more than minimum wage. He lived in a 2-bedroom house. He drove a second-hand Toyota. He cut his own firewood and safety pinned his coat when it tore. Yet when he died, he left $6 million to his local hospital and library, more than most doctors, lawyers, or executives will ever see. This is his story, and the quiet method he used to build unimaginable wealth. Ronald Read was born in 1921 in rural Vermont. His childhood home had no electricity or running water. He served in North Africa and Italy during World War II, then came home and worked 2 jobs for most of his adult life. By day, he was a janitor at JCPenney. By night, he pumped gas at a service station. He never went to college, never worked in finance, never started a business. But Ronald Read had 3 quiet habits that changed everything. Habit number 1. He lived radically below his means. While his neighbors bought new cars, Ronald drove his 2007 Toyota Yaris until it fell apart. While others renovated their homes, he chopped his own firewood. He wore the same jacket for years, repairing it with safety pins. He didn't do this because he was cheap. He did it because he understood something most people miss. Every dollar you don't spend is a dollar that can work for you. Habit number 2. He invested consistently no matter what. In the 1950s, Ronald started buying stocks. Not tech stocks, not hot tips, blue chip companies, dividend-paying stocks, companies like AT&T, Bank of America, CVS, and General Electric. He bought shares whenever he had extra money. When the market crashed in 1987, he kept buying. When it crashed in 2008, he bought more. He never sold. He just kept accumulating. Habit number 3. He let time do the heavy lifting. Ronald Read invested for over 60 years. 60 years of compound interest. 60 years of dividends reinvested. 60 years of quiet, patient wealth building. He didn't need to be smart. He didn't need to pick the next Amazon. He just needed to be patient. Here's what most people don't understand about wealth. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep and how long you let it grow. Let me show you the math that made Ronald Read a millionaire. If Ronald invested just $300 a month starting at age 30 and earned the stock market's average return of 10% per year, by age 90 he would have $8.5 million. That's it. $300 a month. No lottery. No inheritance. No get-rich-quick scheme. This is called the Ronald Read method, and it has 3 simple rules. Rule number 1. Spend less than you earn. Ronald never made more than $20,000 a year, but he saved 20 to 30% of every paycheck. If he could do it on minimum wage, you can do it on your salary. Rule number 2. Invest the difference in boring, dividend-paying stocks. Ronald didn't chase crypto or meme stocks. He bought companies that had been around for decades, companies that paid dividends, companies that could survive recessions. Rule number 3. Never sell, just wait. The stock market crashes every few years. Ronald lived through 1973, 1987, 2000, and 2008. He never panicked. He never sold. He just waited. Because here's the secret. Time in the market beats timing the market. If you'd invested $10,000 in the S&P 500 in 1980 and left it alone, you'd have over $1 million today. Not from being smart, just from being patient. When Ronald Read died in 2014, he left $1.2 million to his stepchildren. But the real shock came next. He left $6 million to his local hospital and library, institutions he'd never worked for, places he'd quietly visited for decades. The hospital used his gift to build a new facility. The library renovated its children's section and named a meeting room after him. Ronald Read never wanted fame. He never wanted attention. He just wanted to live a quiet life and leave the world better than he found it. And that's the final lesson. Wealth isn't about what you spend. It's about what you can give. So here's what you do next. Don't try to get rich quick. Don't chase the next hot stock. Don't wait for the perfect moment to invest. Start today, even if it's just $50 a month. Buy boring, dividend-paying index funds, and don't touch them for 30 years. Ronald Read proved that you don't need a high salary, a fancy degree, or insider knowledge. You just need patience, discipline, and time. The question is, will you start today, or will you wait another year and wish you'd started now? The choice is yours. But let's slow down for a moment, because this story isn't really about money. It's about identity. Ronald Read never looked rich. And that's exactly why his story matters. Today, we live in a world where wealth is loud. Designer clothes, luxury cars, Instagram lifestyles. People feel rich when they look rich, even if they're drowning in debt. Ronald Read chose the opposite path. He understood a powerful truth most people never learn. Looking rich keeps you poor. Being patient makes you wealthy. Every time Ronald didn't upgrade his car, that money went to work. Every time he skipped impulse spending, that money bought ownership. Every time he ignored trends, he increased his future freedom. And here's the uncomfortable part. Most people could follow the Ronald Read method. But most people won't, because it's boring, because it requires waiting, because there's no applause. Let's talk about the psychology that made him rich. Ronald Read mastered delayed gratification. He could afford small luxuries, but he chose long-term freedom instead. While others said, "I deserve this now," Ronald said, "I'll enjoy it later." That mindset alone is worth millions. Studies show that people who delay gratification earn more, save more, and live with less stress over time. Ronald practiced this decades before it became popular. What would happen if you copied him? Let's be realistic. You don't need to live like a janitor. You don't need to wear torn clothes. You don't need to cut firewood. But imagine this. You invest before you spend. You increase your savings every time your income rises. You ignore hype and stay consistent. You give compound interest enough time to work. Even at $50 to $100 a month, time will do the rest. Most people fail not because they start late, but because they never start at all. Why this method still works today? People will say, "This won't work anymore." They said that in 1970. They said that in 1987. They said that in 2008. And yet, the market kept rising. Technology changes. Jobs change. But human behavior doesn't. People panic. People sell too early. People chase shortcuts. Those who stay calm win. Ronald Read didn't predict the future. He simply stayed invested in it. The final takeaway, slow and emotional, Ronald Read died quietly. No headlines while he was alive, no interviews, no followers. But his money is still working, still helping people, still changing lives. That's real wealth. Not money that shouts, but money that endures. So the question isn't, how can I get rich fast? The real question is, who do I want to be 30 years from now? Because future you is either thanking you or blaming you. And the only difference is what you do today.